Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. We got some price action today, boys and girls. Yeah, XRP, 25 cents. Should you buy? Should you sell? Are you panicking? Are you confident? Well, on the buying and selling fronts, I'm not going to tell you what to do because I do not offer financial advice on the Moon Lambo channel. However, I am willing and happy to share with you my thoughts on this and what I specifically am doing. So we're going to take a dive into that in this video today. I've also got a piece that I'll cover towards the end of the video. It's from CoinDesk, and it's good news for the crypto asset class at large. More infrastructure rollout. Customers can deposit Bitcoin into Bakkt's warehouse next week. So it's all good stuff here coming. Before we get going, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It's the best thing you'll do all day, maybe. Also, I want to say, so this is my first day back. I've been on vacation with my lovely girlfriend, Michelle, over the last several days or so. We took a trip to Detroit, and as a celebrate with a friend who got married this past Saturday. It was a very fun trip out there. And so there was limited content coming out. And the last two videos, some of you I'm sure have watched. Moon Bay, as I'm calling her, my lovely Michelle, she had her debut, or debut, if you like to say stuff wrong, on the Moon Lambo channel. And so thank you very much. There's so many nice comments, and Michelle responded to as many as she could. I think she's still going to get back and respond to the rest. But yeah, she had fun reading through everything, and so did I. And there is not going to be a format change on the Moon Lambo channel, just to be clear. But given the positive response, and people seem to enjoy just having a little bit of a mix-up, as requested by a number of people, yeah, we're going to have Michelle back from time to time. It's not going to be on a set schedule. Maybe it would be more or less once a week or something like that. So it'll be a small percentage of the videos I put out there. So, and we'll probably put something in a thumbnail or the title so that you know that that's the type of video that will be. That it's not just Moon Lambo talking in that particular instance. But yeah, we had a blast, and it was a good trip and everything. But I tell you, I was itching to get back here, and my God, there is so much to cover today. I had to put a limit on how much content I'm willing to put out here because this is a fun hobby for me, and if I covered everything that I really wanted to cover today, it would no longer be a hobby. It would become a job. So I'm just doing however much out. And so when I start in making decisions what I want to cover in videos, I'll map things out, early in the morning or whenever I get to it. And I'll just start mapping out, okay, here's a good content for this video, and I kind of figure out reasonably how many videos should I put out today now that I've switched to a format where I'm doing somewhat shorter videos. Most of them probably going to be 10 to 20 minutes instead of the former like 30 to 40 minutes. And so I'm putting out about the same amount of content, just putting out more videos. And so in mapping everything out today, I have mapped out today. I am putting out today 8 videos. That's what I've mapped out so far, and there is so much more that I'd love to talk about, but I just decided it would be too much. So some of it I'm sure I can roll into tomorrow, but man, there's a lot going on today. There is so much to report here. So I'm excited to get back into it. This is my most favoritist hobby I have ever had, and so it does feel good getting back into this, despite having enjoyed my time off with Michelle in Detroit, which neither of us had been to, but yeah, it was a really, really good trip. So thank you for indulging me for a moment while just kind of catching you up to speed, but let's go ahead and dig in here now. I got this tweet. I came up in my Twitter feed here, and it's from Regal Chicken, very active in the XRP community, and he tweeted this out with a screen capture. So the tweet says, lots of analysts called for 25 cents or lower, referencing XRP price, of course. The bulls on CT said at 25 cent XRP, they'd be backing up their trucks to load up. Well, it's here. Are you adding XRP? And there's a screen grab here from when he posted this, and I think this was, so not too long, a few hours ago, 1:19 p.m., a couple hours ago. And at the time, it was 25.7 cents per XRP. So are you buying? Are you selling? I want to add a little frame of reference for you because I think anytime this happens, and I don't blame you, look, if you're one of those people that you get a little panicky, feeling a little flighty when this happens, well, while I'm not going to offer you buying and selling advice, I am going to share with you my perspective and explain why I am bulletproof when it comes to the emotions that many others are feeling when this type of action occurs, especially on the downward. It's not so fun. I totally get it. I really do sympathize. Before I fully grasped the market, yeah, I kind of, admittedly, very early on, I was a little bit concerned. What's going on here? But it also helps that I'm only investing what I am willing to lose. I am genuinely doing that. XRP, yeah, I think it could be worth so much in the future that it probably could fund your retirement. That's not financial advice. But I'm not treating it like that. I'm just putting in a little bit on the side that I am willing to lose, just in the off chance that I'm actually wrong about this, and I certainly do not think I'm wrong. But I'm counting on more traditional means to achieve retirement. And that helps me to feel happy and sleep well at night. So that's what I'm doing. Let me share with you these charts. And I did pull up CoinMarketCap, not my favorite site to pull up when referencing price action or showing you charts, because CoinMarketCap hasn't exactly been, let's say, the friendliest towards the XRP community. Not that they did anything incredibly egregious. Some would say they did, actually. What am I saying? Especially when it had to do with when they stopped reporting. I don't know how many of you remember this, or maybe some of you weren't even around, but they stopped reporting on, what was it? The Korean exchanges, the price action. They just, out of nowhere, without alerting anybody, they stopped reporting on the XRP price action. Well, maybe it was every coin, but XRP, there, for whatever reason, there was a lot of volume on Korean exchanges, and there was an inflated price on those exchanges as a result. And so, anyway, when you stopped factoring that in, it just looked like the price of XRP dropped when you went to CoinMarketCap. It freaked some people out. I'm sure some people panicked, so they're like, what is going? Why is XRP crashing? Well, it wasn't actually crashing. Thank you for that, CoinMarketCap. So anyway, we got that, but the reason I'm pulling them up here is because they have a function on their website that allows you to look at charts over a specific time frame, which is really handy-dandy for what I want to cover with you in this particular video here. And so I kind of arbitrarily chose a timeline, but that's perfect because I'm going to use that to illustrate a point. And my point is that the markets are very immature right now, and humans absolutely have not figured out which coins, by and large, are going to be the winners or losers. I want to point out, yes, okay, so XRP, it's been towards the top of the market cap for years, in terms of market cap, years. It's, look, when did XRP come out? It was the end of 2012, beginning of 2013, whatever the heck it was. And it's pretty well been towards the top in terms of market cap ever since. I mean, I think when I entered, maybe it was 4th in market cap or 5th or something like that. So it's bounced around a little. We've seen it as high as 2nd place, right below Bitcoin there. And so the reason for that is, even though the price of XRP is correlated to Bitcoin, there are a certain quantity of people out there that have invested in XRP that recognize that it is different than Bitcoin, that is being adopted in a different capacity. There is real utility there. I happen to be one of those people, and if you're listening, I would not be surprised if you're one of those people as well. And if so, bravo, you figured it out while the rest of the world doesn't even know XRP exists yet. Bam. See, that's pretty cool. I think that's awesome because we're in early. But so many of the people buying and selling, let me assure you, they have not parsed out the differences between these coins, or even if they've attempted to, they sure as hell don't have a lot of confidence, do they? Look at this. Look at these charts over here to the right. Don't they almost all of them look exactly the same, right? This is a 7-day chart. I don't even need to zoom in any further on these or blow it up. It just doesn't matter. They're all behaving about the same. So for those of you that say XRP is not correlated to Bitcoin, I am sorry, I respectfully disagree, and I believe you are in fact mistaken. Now, I would cede the point that XRP, in terms of the top 10, the large market cap, in terms of market cap, top 10 cryptos, yes, it is the least correlated. You can see long periods of time, which I'm going to show you in just a moment, where XRP appears to be flat and no longer correlated to Bitcoin. Let me show you, not the case. And that's also the reason that when people talk about altcoins going away, this and that, I'm like, humans are not behaving in such a way. These coins are not done. I'm going to point out a couple things here. Let me make one point right now. All of the price action that you're seeing today, this is just my opinion again, nothing has to do with financial advice whatsoever. I firmly believe that all of the price action you've seen of XRP, almost 100% of it, from inception, so we're talking whether it was late 2012, beginning 2013, whatever the heck XRP was officially launched on the very first exchange for trading, the very beginning, the launch of the XRP ledger itself. From that moment until now, almost 100% of the buying and selling has been purely speculative. And so, given that my entire investment thesis is that XRP matters, and the reason that it will ultimately have staying power is because utility will win the day. Because that is my investment thesis, none of the price action that has occurred since the inception of XRP, from the very beginning of time, none of it actually matters to me. I mean, yeah, okay, it was fun to watch it ride up because I jumped in towards the end of 2017. I bought my XRP, and then I saw it go from about 20 cents all the way up to $3.92, all-time high according to LiveCoinWatch.com. Okay, I gotta admit it was exciting, it was fun. Who wouldn't be excited by that, especially if we've got some skin in the game? I got it. But I'm saying outside of that human emotion, and I did feel that, I'm certainly not a robot, I'm not an XRP bot, beep, boop, beep, I am not. Despite that, again, it's absolutely, completely, 100% pure speculation, does not matter. But the reason this is important, though, is it just goes to show how early you and I actually are to this space. Let me illustrate this further. Please take a look at this chart, unless you're driving, but if you are driving, motorist, you keep your hands on the wheel responsibly at 10 and 2. And if you see right here, I arbitrarily chose this. It doesn't matter, though. You could go back a year further, or what. It doesn't matter. Pick your time frame. I went from the beginning of January 2017 to today, August 28th, 2019. And this is an XRP price chart in terms of United States dollars. Look at what this looks like, okay? See this? And here's the huge spike. This is the exciting, super-duper fun time in late December, early January. And you can see it kind of petered off and flat. Okay, now let me show you the same time frame with Bitcoin right now. Oh my God, it looks almost exactly the same. Now, there is one noticeable part. Right here, in particular, the most noticeable difference is towards the end here. You can start looking at, let's go towards let's say maybe around the beginning of, or maybe even March of this year would be probably reasonable to take a look at. You can see, yeah, so Bitcoin started to take off, and now let me go back to XRP chart, and it's flat there. Okay, fine. But altcoins also are not rallying. The rest of the altcoins out there are not rallying either. So my point is, XRP as an altcoin is being treated more or less the same as every other altcoin. Do you see what humans are doing here? Humans are treating XRP, the altcoin, even if you don't like calling it an altcoin, I respect that, that's fine. But I'm just calling it like that for the sake of clarity. I'm just trying to illustrate a point, just let me say it. So XRP is being treated as an altcoin, just like the other altcoins are, in terms of price action, more or less. Okay, and so what you find is, yes, there are periods where Bitcoin goes up by itself and XRP doesn't move, and there are periods where maybe Bitcoin goes down and you don't see as much price suppression from in terms of XRP as you might have expected. So there are periods like that, but more or less it's going to rise and fall, even if there are gaps in terms of like when it actually happens. And so we haven't seen the altcoin rally. That's all this is. Now, what I want to point out is over the last 5 years, every time Bitcoin has gotten this high in terms of Bitcoin dominance, the percentage of dominance, you have seen an altcoin rally. It's just been a matter of time. And so I am waiting for that. I don't think humans are done speculating in such a capacity, because it's clear to me, even with today's price action, and look over the last week, they're treating the cryptocurrencies the same way they were more or less a couple years ago in terms of the speculation around them. People still are not parsing that out. So I don't see any data to prove that it's no longer correlated. We'll see if I'm right, we'll see if I'm wrong. I'm just sharing with my honest opinion, and if I'm wrong, okay, I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, though. And take a look at this. So let me go back to the XRP chart. So you can see, well, okay, here's Bitcoin again. You can see here's the huge run up towards the end of December 2017, best crypto bull run ever. And here's the XRP one now, about the same time frame. It lagged behind a little bit, but that's fine. So take a look at this. I want to illustrate the flatness that you will sometimes see, and that I believe we are experiencing right now. Just historically, this is accurate. It doesn't mean that I have a crystal ball and I'm certainly not promising anything, but I'm just saying, based on history and my belief that humans are not parsing out the differences between coins, to me it stands to reason that humans will continue to behave like humans outside of anything leading them to believe that they should behave differently. And they haven't gotten it yet, and that's why I'm thrilled to be here. I am just thrilled to be here. So if you take a look to here, if you go back to the beginning of January, let's say January of 2017 here, and well, here's the big blip. This is the first big blip. It looks tiny now. It was gigantic back then, but this is the first time, what I'm highlighting right now, first time that XRP broke 40 cents. It's amazing, because if you look just a couple months prior, it was trading at about half a cent, somewhere there about. So huge spike, but then it kind of flattened out, and then look, if you look from there all the way until, what's this, this must be December, yeah, beginning of December, it was flat for like half a year, while Bitcoin was doing this. It was starting to lead up. Look at this. This happens. Okay, and then out of nowhere, XRP spiked. And so, what I want to ask you is, do you think that humans are actually genuinely parsing out the differences between cryptocurrencies, or do you think it's more likely that I'm right and humans are not, at least by and large, maybe you and I are, but most humans are not parsing out the differences between cryptocurrencies? Because I think that point matters. I think it matters quite a bit, in fact. And until I see people parsing it out, I don't think we're going to see true winners and losers in the crypto space. People still don't even know, by and large. I mean, some people have a lot of faith that Bitcoin's going to be here, but people don't even know that. You know, we will see. It's way too early on. But I am going to continue to go with my investment thesis, which is that utility matters and will ultimately win the day. If something happens to where I no longer believe XRP will be adopted, I will tell you if I ever believe that. There's nothing on the radar to make me believe that. But if it ever happens, I am a very open, honest person, and I'm going to tell you my real thoughts because I am not ideologically bound to this. To me, this is a really fun hobby. I think it's a cool investment opportunity. I'm getting thrilled to be here. If it ever changes, you will know, and you deserve to know. You deserve transparency. Of course I would tell you. But again, utility matters. I see real adoption taking place here. So what's actually going to happen? Should you buy or sell? Well, again, no financial advice here. I'll tell you what I'm doing, though. I have changed nothing. I'm very disciplined when it comes to my buying. I'm on a set schedule. XRP price goes up, I buy. XRP price goes down, I buy. That's it. Because I decided that's right for me. And it's just a small percentage of my regular income that I put into it. And so I'm happy to. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And life goes on, and I still got my retirement plans, and everything's super duper. Everything's perfectly fine. But I think that this could be something absolutely wild and massive. I feel like we're onto something here. I feel like I found something special, and if you're listening to this, I'm willing to bet that you feel the same. This is an XRP-centric YouTube channel, after all. So I really think we've got something here. But should you buy, should you sell? Well, make the decision for yourself, but I would just say this. If you believe, like that humans are just, by and large, the vast majority of humans have not figured out what's happening with the asset class and what coins will have staying power. To me, just my personal opinion, it makes sense to weigh that and factor that in heavily. You do what you want. I am not telling you to do that. I am telling you, to me, it makes sense to look at it in a light such as that. And so I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm not going to stop buying until I see a parabolic shift upwards substantially, and then I'll tap the pause button. I'm sure I'll be happy to let you know when I do that. I don't know exactly what point that's going to be. I'm going to see a huge shift up and be like, yeah, I'm going to pause for now, because once that happens, that's when FOMO kicks in. And the people that didn't know about this, they're going to find out about it, and word's going to spread, and you know what happens after that. There will be people buying at the top, there will be another crash, there'll probably be another massive crash because it's crypto, not because there's something fundamentally wrong with XRP. But it will happen, I do believe. And so I've got this piece, and I'll just have to really briefly cover this because I don't want this video to go on too much longer. But this is a piece from CoinDesk, and this is about, it says, Bitcoin teeters on $10,000, but can it fend off another bear? And this is just from a little bit earlier today. And again, it's a piece about Bitcoin, but if Bitcoin rises, so does the rest of the asset class, so keep that in mind. That's why I believe this is quite relevant. Bitcoin's recent market movements have thrown into contention consensus about its short-term price direction, with traders asking openly if demand is strong enough to fend off another bear market. Such a question has emerged in the wake of the world's largest cryptocurrency's inability to set new highs above those seen in June and July, when optimism about a Facebook cryptocurrency launch pushed the price of Bitcoin to $13,880 and $13,200 on June 26th and July 10th, respectively. Since then, Bitcoin has largely failed to test these highs again, prompting speculation traders may be willing to push the market into a lower range, when that could be deepened by available futures options. However, investors and analysts remain bullish based on the assumption that demand will continue its current course, helping to sustain prices around $10,000 until next year's May halving takes effect. Then, investors will see the amount of new Bitcoin introduced to the market daily cut in half, with each new block in the blockchain producing 6.25 BTC, down from 12.5 BTC. As can be seen by the recent Litecoin halving, events that increase the perceived scarcity of cryptocurrencies have proven to catalyze buying interest. And yeah, and so historically there has been truth to this, but now it's so well known, it's going to have an impact one way or another for sure, because supply and demand, I mean, supply and demand is supply and demand. I'm only wondering how much of it is going to be baked into the price prior to it happening, since people are aware of it, or is it going to be, hey, it's now cut in half, and then we see the dramatic effect, which is more so the case in the past. It'll be neat to watch. I don't know exactly how that will unfold, but interesting concept. Anyway, and the piece continues. Further, Jeff Dorman, Chief Investment Officer at Arca, an investment management firm focused on the asset class, argues that with the likes of Bakkt and Fidelity opening their doors to new money amid current global economic tensions, Bitcoin looks attractive to large hedge fund managers seeking to offset risk in traditional markets. He told CoinDesk, most macro hedge funds are contemplating using Bitcoin as a better way to offset the systemic risks that are building globally. There seems to be too much interest and too much money on the sidelines for the market to really go lower in any meaningful way. So there you go. Just take that for what it's worth. And I still insist that given the degree to which you see infrastructure being built by not stupid people, and by just the fact that there is always more and more, well, certainly retail investors, there's some proof of increase of that, but institutional money, it has been coming. It actually has, and I think at the rate at which it comes is going to increase. Given that's all occurring, it couldn't be more clear that the asset class is here to stay, but it's heading in the right direction. It's actually growing. It's not like there's some bubble that grew once and popped, and then we're like, oh, we were wrong about that. It's not a thing now. No, that's not exactly what happened. Not even close. The asset class is here to stay. Speaking of infrastructure, here's the next piece. Coindesk.com has this today. Customers can deposit Bitcoin to Bakkt's warehouse starting next week. Bakkt will open its warehouse to customers Bitcoin on September 6th in anticipation of its impending futures contract offerings, the company announced Wednesday. In a tweet, the Intercontinental Exchange-backed Bitcoin futures provider said it would begin offering customers secure storage for Bitcoin to prepare for the launch of its daily and monthly futures contracts on September 23rd. Bakkt announced it had secured the last of its necessary regulatory approvals to launch earlier this month, more than a year, after first unveiling its plan to offer customers a regulated, physically settled Bitcoin futures product. Effectively, bets on Bitcoin's price at some future date. While Bakkt's launch had been delayed by regulatory holdups multiple times, it now plans to begin offering customers access to the first physically settled futures contracts in the United States late next month. Unlike cash-settled futures contracts, such as what CME offers, customers receive the actual Bitcoin they bet on when a contract expires, rather than the fiat equivalent. And I want to point out, this is very important for those of you that haven't heard me state this in the past. It is key, and it'll be true for XRP too when there are XRP futures contracts one day, hopefully physically settled. This pulls Bitcoin out of the ecosystem affecting supply and demand. Even if it's done over the counter, so it doesn't immediately impact the price via an exchange, understand that even though there's not that initial impression market-wise, it does affect supply and demand and what is available, and all the movings of Bitcoin behind the scenes, and what ultimately makes it to exchange. So it does have an impact. I just call it more of an indirect impact, but it does matter. Same with XRP. When XRP is one day, when you have contracts like this, and it is physically settled, XRP will be required for that specifically. And as long as there's actual utility and XRP is being adopted, it is my belief that you're going to see these types of developments. And it just pulls more XRP out of the ecosystem, and that's perfectly fine. I like that right there. So anyway, this is probably a good point to wrap up the video, but thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate the support, and yes, it is so good to be back. I look forward to making the rest of my videos today. 7 more to go. It's a good time here on the Moon Lambo channel every day. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo!